Am I ready? Oh, you guys counted me down. Oh, I'm sorry. What up, everybody? I did not even see them count me in because I was talking to my co-host. Hey. Anyways, I'm your girl Val, a.k.a. Val Forensic Gal, a.k.a. Valerie Mitchell, right here on Windstream.tv. We're doing our show once again, Cybersecure You. Cybersecure You. And listen, you guys, I've been bringing lots of information out and putting it out there so you guys can really understand what's going on. Last week we spoke about bots. Today we're going to speak about AIs. And bots and AIs are similar, and I'll go into the explanation of the difference later in the show. But today we'll talk about AIs. And there's some really intense stuff going on. I mean, it's been going on. It's just getting more and more invasive in our lives. And it's basically around us damn near 24/7 with everything that we do. So we'll get into all that, but let's talk about what's in cyber news this week. So check this out. And the people on Facebook won't be able to see the pictures I have up, but nevertheless. So, electronic pickpocketing. I heard that and I was like, okay, what's going on there? Electronic pickpocketing. So no more are the days of people, I mean, I guess it's still happening depending on where you live and what areas you're at or whatever, but I'm used to people going and just, if you've got your wallet in your back pocket or your phone or whatever, and they snatch it and they keep it moving or they take off running, right? And you're talking about, hey, bring my shit back. Not in today's world. We've got the electronic pickpocketing going on. When I heard about this, I thought, wow. I thought, okay, so let me back up a little bit. Everyone's trying to go so quickly, right? They want to be in, they want to be out. They want to pay quick, they want to get in the cart, they want to take off, they want to leave. So the credit card companies have made it very convenient for us with the tap and go card, right? It's considered a contactless transaction. All you're doing is taking your card, tapping it, and moving on. Now, the thing about it, though, is these cards have the chips in them, and that's what enables the card reader to basically pick up that it's your card and the information on the card. So what hackers have done, and organized criminals are using it to their advantage, is they developed an app around this. And so what they're doing is they download this app. Let's say you're in the store, you're standing in line, you're talking to somebody, or you're waiting for your coffee, and here's this person. They could just walk past you and brush past you. You can go to the next clip, Kim. Sorry, my bad. They walk past you. They're sitting next to you, as it shows in this picture here, and he is it him doing it, or is it her? Who do you think, Kim? Who's the one? Is it her or him? It looks like it's him that's trying to pickpocket her, right?
Yeah, it looks like him.
Yeah, so she has her phone to her side, and it looks like they're at an airport or something, or in the mall, and they're sitting there. And here's this guy, and he now has lowered his iPad to read from her phone, or it could be her wallet, because what they're doing is they're going for the credit card. So a lot of us, sometimes we have electronic credit cards where you just hold your phone and it scans it, and then some have the tap and go. About 70% of all card users actually use this tap and go card method. I do not use it. Kim, do you use it?
Sometimes.
Okay. Oh, you do? Oh, okay.
Sometimes, not all the time. I've used it about 3 times my entire life.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, good to know. I guess you're in the more safer side, on the safer side of things. All right, so the chips in these cards, they actually use radio frequency to identify the information that's on the card. Your card number, your expiration date, the CVC on the back of the card. And from there, they're able to take that and go and log in somewhere else and go shopping with your money. While you're literally standing in line getting some coffee, and then you get back and you get an alert that the money has, like there's some purchases that you apparently made. But they're making it makes it easier for criminals to steal from us. That's the bottom line. So instead of them having to like really put themselves out there and grab something and take off running, they just have a device. They come up to you, swipe, get that information, transfer that information from the app, and boom, voila, they've gotten into your shit. When I got hacked, one of the weird things that happened to me, and it sounds crazy, but this was my life. One of the things I would notice is when I went out and I had my device on me, certain things would change in the settings and stuff like that. And that's a long story, and I'm not going to go into it on today's show. But I ended up looking it up to find out, okay, what's going on when I'm out in the streets? Like, why is my stuff always messing up? Like, I've already been hacked. I can't access this, can't access that. And now it's even worse when I'm out. Well, come to find out, there's something known as pinging. And pinging is where someone can hold up their phone, and there's an app on their phone, and it's extracting information from your device. And at the time, I had an Apple phone. So obviously there was some settings that I didn't know about that I needed to secure, so they could not interact with my phone in that manner, but they were able to ping and get information and then clone the phone, mirror my device, and take over the device. It's as if it's my phone, but it seemed like it was their phone, and I was just borrowing the phone to just do something real quick and give it back to them. So that's what's going on with this. It happens in seconds, okay? It doesn't take a long time. They come up, they do what they have to do. They put the reader that they have on their phone with the app next to your stuff, and all they have to do is, like I said, brush up against you real quick, and you'll just, oh, excuse me, oh, no problem. They're walking off, and you think nothing of it, right? Like, oh, I've had people bump into me all the time, and they're walking away with your shit. So I wanted to bring this up because what ways are there around this? There needs to be some kind of protection app. Like we have like virus protection software and stuff to protect us against malware, software to protect us against malware. There needs to be something for this, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, because who doesn't walk around with their purse? Who doesn't walk around with their wallet? I don't know. But I'm sure they're going to find a way to make it so that the hackers aren't able to access our information in such a manner. What's interesting to me is, like, how are they allowed to develop these apps that do this? There should be some sort of regulation and restriction on the apps that can be created, so that we're not getting apps that are used in, to criminalize other people. How about they do that shit right there? How about they do that? I don't know. Did I welcome my co-host already? To the co-host. All right. Moving on. Interestingly enough, what's the next picture? We have some birthdays, y'all, in the AI arena. I saw this and I was like, man, look, come on now. So it's Siri's birthday, apparently, and Siri's going to be 13, or she is 13. So let's give it up for Siri. I cannot. And then who's the next? What's the next picture we have? Oh, Alexa. Alexa is going to be 9. She's 9, or not going to be, but she is 9. So, okay. All right. And then we also have, I don't have Google on there, but we also had Google, Google Assistant, who's turned 7. I had to do this. I had to, because I'm like, look. Okay, I can understand celebrating, like, we've been in business for this long. But here we have, like, literally, these are not real. Like, they're not human. And we're celebrating birthdays. Now, there is a human voice behind Alexa. I did read that and saw the girl who did it. But nevertheless, she's not physically in everybody's home. I mean, although she is, but she isn't, right? So you've got a device that projects her voice. She physically is not there saying, hey, how can I help you? stuff like that. So these are the birthdays we have. So I just want y'all to know this is what's going on in these cyber streets. We got birthdays, we got pickpocketing, electronic pickpocketing. It's crazy. All right, so now we're going to get to the AI because, I only do the show for like 30 minutes, and I'll go on and start talking and literally get sidetracked and not speak about what the hell I'm trying to do the show about, right? So AI, artificial intelligence. And this is where basically you have humans who program machines to basically act and behave in a human manner. And they actually can speak like full sentences. So they're different from the chat bots because the chat bots, let me see here, I want to make sure I say this correctly. But chat bots are unable, can we see the next picture? Oh, see, there I go. I jumped ahead of my own story. I always do this. Oh my God. Anyways, you know what? Let me back it up, reel it in. So we are going to talk about artificial intelligence, and the next story I have is in regards to it as well, because artificial intelligence, they are taking over the job force. Now, it may not seem so for you guys right now, but it's getting worse, and it's getting worse and getting worse. Now, not everyone sees it as a bad thing. There's pluses and there's minuses to this whole I don't know what to call it, to this whole artificial intelligence. It's funny because when I was younger, we used to see this guy, Max, or something like that. And he was like half robot and half man. And he would do things. And back then, I didn't think, this could actually be our reality. Never thought that. I was way younger. And now it has become a reality. Is it exactly like what we're seeing in the movies, where they're like jumping and flipping and doing all this? No, we're not 100% there yet, although I do believe it exists somewhere, but it hasn't been made, put out to the public. But they are doing a lot. They are they're a part of everything that we do. So they're in our emails. They decide, AIs decide. So when you get an email, it's the artificial intelligence they decide whether the email stays in the inbox or goes to spam. That is all done by artificial intelligence, okay? Making suggestions on your mobile devices when you're in Google and you're typing that you're looking for, something, you start typing the words and then the other words populate, artificial intelligence. It helps us to send text messages. So you're typing a text, and then because it already knows what you've typed before, it kind of fills in the gap of where you may be going with the conversation, and then you read it and be like, oh yeah, that's what I was trying to say. And you didn't have to literally type the whole thing out. That's artificial intelligence. GPS systems, artificial intelligence. So you're in there programming. Now, and interesting, we put the information in. Well, what we're not realizing is it's literally artificial intelligence that takes over from there. We are no longer in control. I've had issues with my GPS recently. I was going downtown, and my GPS was doing fine. Said I was on the street I was on, and as soon as I got onto the freeway, it detected I was on the freeway. Then all of a sudden I lost signal. And then when it came back, it said I was all the way over on some Hoover Street. And I'm like, but no, I'm on the 10. So then the GPS signal went out again. And it kept saying I was somewhere else where I wasn't. And I experienced that a lot when I got hacked, because I actually saw that there are ways that you can reconstruct coordinates with the GPS. And we've discussed this on cybersecurity before, where you have individuals that can literally say, hey, honey, I'm going to San Diego. They go, they come back, honey. And he really, or she didn't really go to San Diego. They were off cheating and doing something. But look, I'm showing you my map. Look at the time. That can all be recreated by someone, if they're fucking with you, right? So it's pushing us to make certain decisions, right? Like, all of this is for a reason. There is an agenda behind all of this. Now, we're not going to get political about this on the show, Just know you need to stay woke. Did I not say, you know what? I didn't even say that at the beginning of the show. That's what this show is about. Stay woke. Stay woke, because it is infiltrating everything. What are you going to do when the type of job that you do has been taken over by artificial intelligence? Then what? They're not going to need you. You know why? Because they're 10 times faster, if not 1,000 times faster than us. They can do and complete tasks so much more quickly and more efficiently. No mistakes. And I won't say they don't make hardly any mistakes, but at the same time, their mistakes are far less than human error. Okay? So this is what's been going on. It's costing people their jobs. Let's see what else we have. So there was, the Bureau of Labor Statistics reported that there was a loss of 43,000 teller jobs, in the bank teller jobs. And this is because they are trying to implement artificial intelligence. All right, next photo. Yeah, they were trying to implement it. This slide shows that in 2003, the market was pretty good with bank tellers, 518,000 bank tellers. And I think prior to that, Kim, what's the next slide? I think it grew. So in 2021, there's 378,000 bank tellers. Then it went up to 500,000. But now the numbers are going back down here in 2023 because of all the implementation of artificial intelligent software. And we did a show on that discussing how it is taking over jobs and it's taking over aspects of what we do. And there's a major reason why Google and Microsoft and Amazon, besides the fact that they hired all these people during COVID and now they've got to scale back, right? Another reason is they're trying to implement artificial intelligence. Uber has been trying to do it for the longest. I told you all about that. Uber has been wanting to have a self-driving car with no one behind the wheel. So that is what's going on. And the thing about it is the artificial intelligence is supposed to enhance the way we do things, right? It's supposed to assist us in what we're doing. But because it's quicker, it's faster than any human when it comes to completing certain tasks, it's being relied on quite heavily in the job place. And it is taking over. They can write essays for us. They can take calls, check. And so I heard this lady explain that you can actually ask them something like artificial intelligent software. You can ask them a question like, hey, I was thinking about going to Cancun. What do you think? Is that a good idea? And they can spew out an actual response like, well, no, it's not best that you go. Right now, Uber is fighting with the taxi drivers in Cancun, and so you have travelers waiting to get rides. They can't get assisted, so maybe it's best you not go there right now. How about da-da-da-da-da? That's how this artificial intelligence works. So I wanted to talk about, is the picture that big that it doesn't show on the screen? Oh, you know what? I did notice that. All right, so we had talked about bots last week, right? And the week before. And I wanted to help you understand the difference between bots and artificial intelligence, because it is different. You would think they're the same because bots do what artificial intelligence does, but artificial intelligence actually takes it to a whole nother damn level because it's behaving as a human. And so that is one of the main differences, because the chatbots are unable to learn and adapt. Whereas artificial intelligence, they can learn and adapt. And then so the next time you ask something similar to, or someone else asks something similar to what you're trying to find out that a bot cannot respond to, artificial intelligence, they learn from that. And then the next time they come back, they have now pinpoint and are able to answer the questions proposed to them that are in detail. All right, so for instance, with bots, you'll say, hey, Siri, is it cold outside? Yes, the weather's da-da-da-da-da. With artificial intelligence, you can say, oh my God, is it going to be cold outside? Should I take a sweater? What do you think I should do? And they will, yeah, it's best you wear a sweater today. Not only with reporting the weather, it will also, it's best that you take an umbrella as well. It might rain, so in order for you to be safe. Like, it's like having a conversation. That's how they're being programmed. Oh, there it is. Robotics versus artificial intelligence. There it is. So, bots are unable to really like understand what a person is saying. Whereas artificial intelligence, they understand it, compute it. You have humans on the other end saying, okay, this person asked this. Maybe the next time this is the way it should respond, and then it's being programmed as such. What else is there? So chatbots, they're not intelligent, but AIs, they're capable of learning, like I mentioned. And they, sometimes when chatbots, here's another difference that I found. So chatbots, you'll ask them a question, and then they'll respond differently. You know, like if you're calling like the pharmacy and they're saying, who do you want to speak to? That's actually a chatbot. And you're saying, pharmacy. Oh, I did not understand your question. You said, and you're like, no, I said pharmacy. That's a chatbot. Okay? Artificial intelligence, whole nother thing, whole nother level, whole nother level. It's machine intelligence combined with human intelligence. That is artificial intelligence. It can tackle any question, anything you ask it. It generates answers. And before it changes the response, it ensures that it fits exactly what the customer and what you're asking for. So it's computed to be able to solve practically anything you throw at it. Anything. You know what's scary though? And I heard, let me see, I wrote this down. Hold on. Okay. So Myron Golden, I found him on YouTube. If you guys want to check him out, Myron Golden. Man, he had some interesting information in regards to this AI situation. And he was saying, like, AI is not just giving us information, it's gathering information from us about the information we're gathering. Therefore, we are the product. So you're on there thinking, oh, my Facebook, and I'm going to buy this, and I'm going to do that. Not realizing that you yourself, me, Kim, Michael, Neff, we are the product. So we have these social media companies taking what we provide them, and in turn they're sending it off somewhere else and getting paid for it. And we're the product. Did they ask to pay for me? Like, I haven't gotten any money. You know, now if you go on and do a show like I'm doing right now on Facebook or whatever, but still I wouldn't get the money that they're getting for all the information that they're getting from us, because we are the product. We are definitely a product. So I was going to say something, but I have to be careful, you know what I mean? I'll just go off and say whatever, but I don't want to always do that, because it's important that you get the right information. My opinions are my opinions, and I will interject them for sure, as I always have. Nevertheless, it is important to understand the difference. It's important to stay woke. What's the next picture? What do I have up there? Oh, this chick. So this is a robot. She is a artificial intelligent robot. Does she not look human as hell? She looks human. Her hair looks good. Her eyes look real. Nose, lips, skin, complexion. Right, Kim? Doesn't she look like a human? She looks like a human.
Yeah, they have her dressed like a human.
Yeah, and she's dressed like a human. She's got overalls on. Oh, wait, let me see.
Overalls.
She has overalls. Look at her.
Overalls, my favorite.
I like overalls too, though. So they put her in something comfortable. I don't know why. Does it fucking matter? I mean, does she feel like, oh shit, I'm uncomfortable in this outfit? She probably might. I don't know. But like I said, it's going to get to the point where these robots are going to be actually able to call in our prescriptions or something like that. Something deep is about to go down. I'm telling you. Watch, wait for it. And her arms, the people on Facebook can't see it. You can go on to onestream.tv and see it, or you can go on CCG Chronicles on YouTube. What up, Nev? So the arms of this artificial intelligent robot, like we discussed last week, an attorney tried to use one of these robots to test to like do cross-examination and do the trial for one of his defendants, and he literally damn near got disbarred. Okay, it's like they were like, oh hell to no. What do you think you're doing? So this is what they're bringing in our world. This is what's going on here. What's next? Right, so I've already kind of explained this, but this is the artificial intelligence versus like the human. And they're combining us. They're trying to make it one, right? So it's a robot, but the robot wants to be human. And haven't you ever seen those movies where the robot like all of a sudden gets like these human feelings, and then it turns evil and bad, and then it like attacks? Have you not seen it? Yeah, they have that shit. So I'm like, is that true too? Like, how far is this shit going? Will they start developing feelings? I mean, I don't think so, but I don't fucking know. You know, what if they like they can take a part of our brain and implant it in the actual robot, and then all of a sudden they really do have feelings and they fall in love with you and become a stalker? Then what?
They're reprogramming their self-awareness.
Pretty much. And then they fall in love with you, right? Let's say the robot falls in love with you. And it really doesn't want you to, and I think there's a movie like that, where the robot didn't want her to leave the house, fell in love with her. Any guy that came, the guy got killed. So I don't know, baby. Oh, I cannot. It's like I'm excited about this shit, but I'm also very, very concerned, simply because I'm like, you know, I feel like, oh, I don't want us to advance like this. Like, I'm not ready. I don't think any of us are ready. I'm not ready. I'm not ready to advance to this. I'm barely getting through the hacking that I went through. Barely. I'm functioning. They got in my shit just the other day. Again, shut my shit down. I had to go back in and figure it all out and kick out some people that they tried to sign on in my Facebook. Yeah, like that. So I literally have to be careful. I'm like, okay, I know I didn't review social media 6 hours ago, but somebody seems to be on here. All right. Somebody got in my account, and I knew that because they literally changed my password, and I can get back in my account. So anyways, bottom line is, it's like, you know, not only we have criminals taking advantage of this shit, we have employers, business owners taking advantage of this. They really are leaning towards using it. Now, I've heard that employers are like, oh, we'll never get rid of humans. We'll never get rid of them. But I feel like once they try using AI, and then all of a sudden the work is done in like 2 hours, that would take a human 8 hours, that's going to change shit. Big time. It's absolutely going to change things. So another thing I found about AI, what's the next picture? Oh, okay, well, I'll pause right here for a second. The next thing I found about AI is that it dumbifies us. Because back in my day growing up, oops, my bad. Back in, you know, I'm grown, and, oh, Michael did it that way. Okay, I'm grown, like real grown. My daughter's grown, okay? And I remembered everybody's number. There was none of this shit. Okay, we had payphones where we had to go put quarters in. If you didn't have a quarter, you're fucked. You know? There was no cell phone if you got stuck on the side of the road and your tire was flat. Then you had to walk to a payphone. Believe me, I remember them days. And we had to remember everyone's number, because when you got to the payphone, you needed to be able to call them. If your mom wasn't home, then you got to call this person. If that person's not around, you got to call that person. So you needed to know their number. Now, not the case. So imagine when I got hacked and I lost everything. I was lost. When I say lost, I was just like, oh shit, I don't have anybody's number. Now, I knew my close friend's number, my daughter's number, my mom's number, my dad's number. But hell, I didn't even have one of my sister's number. And some of the people that I did speak to often, I didn't have their number either. Because I was just used to picking up the phone and pressing talk. I see their name, I see the number, but I'm not memorizing it. I'm not committing it to memory. So it's dumbifying. I feel like it's dumbifying our children. And I think Michael uses that word a lot. And it's dumbifying our society. It's trying to gear us to behave and think the way it wants us to. And it was mentioned about the virus. Now, I know this is not a part of AI, but I was listening to Myron Golden, and he had mentioned how the virus, he thought, like, he didn't believe that there was no political agenda around it, and is why it wasn't like, he believed it potentially could have been like some kind of, weapon. Some weapon of like mass destruction in a way, right? Because it did massively destruct, right? So I understand exactly where he's coming from. Now, why would they be doing that? What is the agenda behind that? Think about it, especially with all this AI shit going on. There must be a connection. And you know what? We'll have Dr. Robert Epstein explain that to us next week, for sure. Let's see, what else? Okay, so I was going to also talk about, I wanted to get into this. Okay, so let me get to my notes here. It's important to know. So this is in the human body. This is what we have. This is how our neurons. We have dendrites, and you're familiar with this, Kim, too, right? Because you're a nurse. You know all this shit. I learned about it, but I didn't commit it all to memory. I'm looking right here. And it's our neural network, right? And this neural network is what the artificial intelligence robots are. They're basically, that's exactly what what they've been programmed with, to be human. So they're programming it with the same neural makeup that we have to give them that intelligence. They want it to be as intelligent, if not far more superior and intelligent than a human. And so they want to be able to learn as a human does. So they're able to put in large amounts of information, including inputs and outputs and customer review questions, all this stuff, and they pile it all in there. And then all of a sudden, here comes this robot that is damn near human. The only thing is they don't have feelings. And that I think somebody's going to come up with that shit. They're eventually going to have feelings. What's the next picture? Yeah, so the way it works with AI, information is right? So it's inputted, and then it's hidden in the robot, and then output. That's how it is. With humans, it's different. We have neural networks and dendrites and things that have to fire, but with robots and AI, someone puts in the information, it's stored, out. That's how it works. So to end this show, I want to say, we need to really stay woke. This is a very, very deep topic. There's so much going on in the AI space, and the fact that it's all around us, no matter what we do. I mean, look, I'm sitting here with a laptop, so what the hell am I talking about, right? But I need it. If it's like you can't function if you don't use the shit because everybody else is using it. So you don't use it, and then you fall off by wayside, and you can't function, and you can get to your job, but you're just not gonna be able to do what everybody else is doing, which is fine. At the same time, when I was hacked and I didn't have access to any of this shit, I could not log on to anything. Everything was hacked. I felt like I lost time. I felt like I lost some of my life. Literally, I was just so on the out. All because I could not access any of this shit. So is it, there needs to be, here's the thing. Because it's advancing so quickly and it's in our faces, it's happening, it's here, then why aren't there the regulations to go along with it? Why aren't there policies around this? Where are the agencies to supervise this? We need it. It's time, it's time, it's time. Because it has gone a long way without any of this shit. And now then all of a sudden you have people, having to testify before Congress and the Senate about the shit that it's destructed. So if this is not implemented now for our safety, then we can be in some serious, serious trouble. Our privacy is in jeopardy. That's the main point. So next week, oh, I'm so excited about this. So I interned with this guy when I was in college, way back, undergrad, when I did my undergrad, Cal State San Marcos. And that was who I interned with, Dr. Robert Epstein, former editor-in-chief of Psychology Today magazine. And he's going to be on our show next week. He testified in front of Congress. He's really hell-bent on this Google censorship shit. You hear me? If anybody's been talking about it, Dr. Epstein's been talking about it. So he's going to be joining us next week. We're going to do some heavy pushing for it and promotion because he's absolutely well-connected. He's brilliant, and he knows what he's talking about. He even told me when I spoke to him the other day that he hasn't had an ad for anything appear on any of his devices and any of his accounts in like 14 years. You know, every time we say something, AI and chatbots and all this shit is listening, and the next minute you know, you go back, you see an ad for what you talked about, and you're like, what the fuck? He has not had that in 14 years, and we're going to find out how next week. So, all right, thank you so much for joining me right here on Cybersecurity U. Again, I'm your host, Val, a.k.a. Val Forensic Gal. And we'll see you next week, and we'll put some information out there for Dr. Robert Epstein's joining us next week. So, all right, take care, peace, stay woke. Okay, how was that?